Good day, I am Obaro Ebegbari, proudly representing Isoko. And today, I would like to tell you how a country functions in the simplest possible manner. A lot of people don't understand how a country functions or operates. A country functions no different from a family. You can see Nigeria as your father. A father has responsibilities. He has to send his children to school. He needs to earn money to do all that. He needs to build a house, buy a car, pay for accommodation, take care of his wife. Nigeria too has all of that responsibilities. It has us to cater for. It has to build schools so that we can go to schools and be educated. It has to build hospitals so that its citizens can have good healthcare facilities. So Nigeria also has a need for money, because without money it cannot do all of this. It needs to pay the army, the police, the civil servants. It also needs to pay the retirees, and all this is a lot of money. So how do a country get money? For Nigeria, Nigeria gets money from taxing and royalties from oil. Those are the major revenues of money for Nigeria, though there are others which are like minor. So those are the major. In other countries, it's majorly taxing. So you pick money from people little by little, and it's a lump sum which can be used to do a lot. Now, why is Nigeria always borrowing? You always hear on the news, Buhari has borrowed, Buhari has borrowed. He borrows because Nigeria is not generating enough money to fund its budget. It cannot pay salary, Buhari will borrow. So many lapses, he has to keep borrowing money to run our economy and keep it afloat. Sri Lanka is in crisis today and is looking for who will borrow it $3 billion for it to keep its economy afloat. So those are the challenges. Now, why do Nigeria have this challenge of not having enough revenue? Number one, our tax system is poor. We don't have a database, so a lot of people are not paying their taxes. Aside that, Nigeria does not produce anything viable. Value is always created when you produce finished goods. Nigeria is not producing anything viable. Let's take Saudi Arabia for example. I want to use two countries that have the same kind of resources that we have. Saudi Arabia has crude oil in abundance, just the way Nigeria do. Now, they found out they have this crude oil. They didn't have the technology or the technical know-how on how to exploit. They brought in the American companies and sold oil blocks to them. This was Standard Oil, which is now Exxon. Now, Standard Oil started exploring oil, and we're making money from the business and paying royalty to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia did not eat that money. They didn't spend it. They kept saving that money, saving the money. And after a couple of decades, they went back to Standard Oil and said, look, we want to buy back our oil block. We want to start exploring our oil ourselves. Of course, it's people who worked for Standard Oil had gotten the knowledge on how to do everything. That's the advantage of when foreign direct investment come into your country. You learn from them. You transfer knowledge. Now Saudi Arabia bought the oil company back. It now became theirs. They now named it Saudi Aramco. As of today, Saudi Aramco is the most profitable company in the world. It makes over $110 billion worth of profit yearly. Let's take Norway. Norway is a small country and they have crude oil. What did Norway do? The government formed an oil company named Statoil, and they started to exploit their oil by themselves. And they sold, and all the profits came into the government. The government made all the profit. Today, Norway has $1 trillion saved in bank. That's a huge sum. $1 trillion. Norway has that saved up in bank. And it's still making money. As of now, they've sold about 35% of the Statoil to citizens. The oil belongs to the citizens of the country. They are now reaping dividends from it. So Nigeria, why can we not do such? We don't have foresight. We are just so content of royalty is coming and they are stealing the money. They are not using it for anything. No development, nothing whatsoever. We are not in control. Chevron and Shell and every other companies are the ones who have made the profit, and the profit, they won't keep it in your country. They will take their profit back to their country. So there are a lot of other things Nigeria can go into production for. Agricultural products is big money. Belgium as a country exports agricultural products. They don't have the kind of land mass we have in Nigeria. There are states in Nigeria that are bigger than Belgium. They export agricultural products up to $100 billion annually. That's money coming in for the government. We have lands. What are we doing with our lands? Why are we not productive? Egypt is the greatest importer of wheat in the world. We also import wheat. Why? We have lands and we can farm. We have people. Nigeria has over 200 million people. So there are people to do these jobs. The government needs to make it attractive, make farming attractive. Some people want to go into it, they don't have loans. There are people who are into production in Nigeria today. Are they being encouraged by the government? We have Innocent Motors as an example. They are producing cars locally in Nigeria, but all the cars used by the government are Lexus and Benz and Toyota. Why? What our government is supposed to do is ban importation of cars. When you ban importation of cars, people will have no choice than to buy the locally made cars. You don't see a Toyota, you need a car, you go and buy the Innocent car. When the demand for Innocent car is high, he's going to start opening up factories in different places. And he will start assembling cars in Nigeria. People who usually import cars will gather their funds together and go and set up their own car companies. And we start manufacturing cars. This way we have more Nigerians employed. When you have more Nigerians employed, the government will make more money from tax. Companies will pay tax to them. The people who are working will pay tax to them. But whereby you have people unemployed, where are you going to get the tax from? There will always be shortage of money and the government will keep borrowing. And borrowing is dangerous. When you borrow not to produce, it is very dangerous. You borrow money to pay bills. Where will the money come from? Where are you going to pay that money back from? We are mortgaging the future of our children and our children's children. Nigeria needs to start thinking sustainable development. The simplest explanation of sustainable development is, what am I going to leave for my children? You see the world shouting on climate change, climate change, climate change. Oil is going to die. It is already dying gradually. Fossil fuels have destroyed the earth. Destroyed the earth. You see so much ice melting from the Arctic. You see tsunamis. You see the sun rays is too hot these days. You see flood everywhere. These are effects of climate change. The food we are eating is no longer as nutritious as it used to be. Now, fossil fuel is going to die, a gradual death. And everybody knows it's going to die. And that is where people, nations of the world, America, Norway, Saudi Arabia, they have built on that. When it was booming, they made their money, they made their economy great. We made some money. What did we do with the money? All the money are stolen, squandered, no development, nothing, no economic growth. Things really need to change. Once the world moves to renewable, who are we going to start selling crude oil to? Since all our hope is on that crude oil, in a couple of decades, it's going to be extinct. They might start sanctioning countries who are still into it. China is building solar power that they will export electricity to other nations of the world. They tend to finish by 2030. Can we not generate electricity and export to neighboring countries? Come on. There is a lot of things that the government can do to make money. to create employment. But we are just idle. Too much corruption. We need to sit up and do things right in this country. Thank you for listening.
We are Nigeria.